Hey lads, and welcome back to another NRL Fantasy Fanatics YouTube video. And today we've got our round two wrap up. Some good games to cover, some a lot of upsets which didn't help my tipping, but some good scores to cover. And as always, joined by Will. How are you today, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, good as always. And we'll start with the first game of round, Knights 26, Dolphins 12. Kalen Ponga topping the scoring with 82 points from 80 minutes, with a try saver and three try assists, three line breaks, and five tackle busts. He's an absolute machine, and he's showing his best coming off a not so good season last year, injury ridden. If you don't have Ponga, you're kicking yourself, but we both have Ponga, and look, he's probably not the person you want to be getting in prioritizing this week. We'll get to another guy later, but 82 points, averaging 72 from the first two games. Amazing stuff from Ponga. And another guy who I had
Oh,
in the preseason, Bradman Best, after a bit of a slow start in round one, pumped out 77 points with a try saver again, and seven tackle busts with two line breaks. Do you have any interest on Bradman Best later in the season at all, Will?
yeah, I got a lot. I almost brought Bradman in this week, to be honest. But yeah, I think that Bradman is done a really good job so far. And yeah, I was saying that I think Pong is, was my pod captain of the week in a private group. But for Bradman, I think it's just rely way too much on other well, like that left edge. That surely there's going to be a day where the left edge doesn't go well. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
think it is going to be a little bit of a up and down nature with him, but I do think it could definitely be a good buy.
Yeah, I do agree. Isaiah Katoa, it's with 73 points, a great game for him, scoring a try assist, line break, and a line break assist with 31 tackles. Five misses, that was a bit of a problem. And if he didn't get the try or the couple line break and line break assists, he's still going to score well, but just not as well. And he could be an interesting option as a pot option, only 2.7% owned. But the Dolphins aren't looking great, and when he facilitates the attack, if the Dolphins don't score many points, he's likely not going to score too many. But he's had a good first 2 weeks, but this week especially, I think there's a lot better options to trade in. Speaking of better options, Marzu, another really good game from 70 points. What is he now? 6% owned still, so he's still a pod. I personally own him, and I've been laughing. I've been very happy with him. No try, 10 tackle busts, two line break assists, and where's the offloads? Six offloads to hand. That's ridiculous. He's a winger and he plays like a center. He runs from the back fence, he offloads, he tackle busts. He's an absolute legend and he's just going to keep going up in price. So if you can get Marzu, I'd probably try to look at him this week. Another one who I started with in preseason. Fletcher Sharp, 3.9% owned, another good week for him. There's a big theme here for the Knights players, all scoring well to start the year. Great game for him. Look, probably better options to trade in this week, but he does have a wing fullback half duel. With the Knights having a bye next week, I think I'd probably look to steer clear of him until maybe after the bye. But if you want to get another week out of him, and then there's no worries with that. Do you want to talk us through Dylan Lucas, Will? One who I personally don't own, but he's been killing it and
Yeah, well,
hurting me at
Dylan
the
was
start of
one
the
that I
year.
really wanted to own, and I was really big on for the preseason. But yeah, I think that is looks like a good buy here, Dylan. Looks like a much improved player, but I think it's one that you don't really look to buy with a lot of these nice players. I don't think you look to buy until after their uh round four buy. So yeah, I think if you have Dylan definitely hold him, but I would not be looking to buy. But he will definitely be a keeper in the centers.
Yeah, I do agree. Herbie Farnworth had a quiet first half and then brought it back in the second. Probably wouldn't be looking at him. He'll probably continue to lose money, I'd say, and you can pick him up in the back end of the year through Origin period. Adam Elliott, 55 points from 49 minutes. If he can lock in a starting spot, he could be very handy after their bye. But for now, I'd steer clear. Same with Gags. Bit too expensive for me. Did score the try and a few attacking stats, which inflated his points. So I'd also steer clear. Similar to Kai Pearce-Paul being suspended now. If you do own him, which not many people do, I'd probably look to sell. Tom Gilbert, one who we listed as a buy, 50 minutes for 43 points. Look, is a little concerned, but still the PPM was great to start the game, and then he fell off just a little. If you can get the 50 minutes from 50 points from the 50 minutes, you'd take that. But I wouldn't rage trade at the moment. Obviously, just keep him. Saifidi not relevant. Schiller not relevant. Avarillo not relevant either. Marshall King, one who is a pod I do rate highly. Had a good first week, not a great second week. Missed a few tackles, a lot of errors there. 12, 14 points in error, so not great. Moving down, Max Plath won 6% of teams owned. Did not have a great game. 80 minutes. Uh, just didn't do much all round, really. Didn't make really many tackles at all for a edge, sorry. And yeah, the six errors. Well, six minor points. Moving on. Not a hell of a lot. Tyson Frizzell, no one really owns them. So 5% owned, just didn't have any attacking stats really, and didn't really touch the ball much. 188 running meters, but not good enough. And anything else you want to talk about in this game, Will? I
Do
just
you,
don't see
yeah, just quickly, do you
anyone
think
else who's
Phoenix
really relevant.
Crosland is interesting option?
He is. Um, with Brayley only getting 26 minutes, you might see that to increase because Brayley did start a few games last year, but I mean, started on the bench for a few games last year. I think Brayley's minutes are likely to increase. 38 points from 67 minutes is really nothing to write
Well,
home about.
Rayleigh's leaving, remember, is effective immediately.
Years. That's at the end of the year, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I believe it is. So I think that's going to be really good for if he does leave, I think that's going to be really good for Phoenix. And yeah, he's been killing it recently at
Yeah.
410K. Do you think
Yeah, no, 37 tackles with no misses is always helpful. He could be
yeah,
an interesting option if you want to maybe pick him up after the buy so he doesn't make too much money, then there's nothing wrong with that. Maybe a cash down option. But the hookers this year have been doing well, like Watson and Mamazulis have been doing well, so I don't really find a need for Crosland. But we'll move on to the next game. Wars versus Manly, one that hurt me in my tipping. Did not see this coming. Wade Egan leading with 73 points, a try, 41 tackles, two tackle busts, and a line break. Um, I wouldn't say this is a anomaly for Wade Egan. He can do this, but he's obviously not going to score a try. He's not going to get a line break or tackle busts every game as a hooker. He will get the 40 to 45 tackles, but you can't rely on that many attacking stats to bring him in. But he is making good money at the moment, and if you own him, you're laughing. But one who I personally got rid of for Jamie Humphries, and a lot of people did, Luke Metcalf. I had a feeling this would happen. 64 points with a try, two try assists, two line breaks, two line break assists, and nine tackles. Look, a lot of attacking stats there for Luke, but he is that sort of player that's very explosive. Did you have a feeling this would happen, Will, after we get rid of him?
yeah, I did. He just didn't look at much. He didn't look as good as we thought he was going to be. And yeah, I mean, he looked very good today. 6 goals does help him, but I just think the missed tackles were down. Didn't make a lot of tackles, but for me, I think it's just a game that like he needs the attacking stats. It's kind of he's shown that
Mm.
his base stats weren't really there, so I'm not thinking too much into it to be honest.
Yeah. Humphreys did outscore him anyways, and he's cheaper, so I think, well, he was when I bought him. So, yeah, I'm still happy with my decision. The Warriors definitely pulled him aside and told him to run the ball more, which is exactly what he did. And he had a bit more kicking than Harris Tavita this week. Or they split it a bit less. But Fisher Harris, one who is interesting, 58 minutes played and he scored 57 points. Those are big minutes. Those are similar to the horse. Do you have any interest in Fisher at all?
No, I never really had interest in Fisher. I think, yeah, I'd like to see another game with big minutes, and then I might look at him. But yeah, other than that, no interest in him at all.
Yeah, Jason Saab, not much to say. They had a great game, but not really fantasy relevant. He
54
has
average
scored
though.
two
Yeah.
55 point games, which is pretty crazy. The Sea Eagles have been good though. They've been giving him a lot of the ball. Um, look, there's much better options. 485K. If he puts up another game of 55 points, he could seriously be an option, but there is a bit of risk with wingers in your team. Harris Tavita, one who I was interested in last week. Still another, he did score a try along with Metcalf and a line break, which will inflate his points. And dropped a bit of kicking this week, but is still a good option and will have a low break even. Lehigh Hopewade, one I'm not looking at, along with Taupiki. Oh, Paseka, one who we had as a pod in our private group. 55 minutes of 45 points, average of 47. Still great output with 10 points, 11 points of negative. Do you have any interest in Paseka to come in the next few weeks?
Yeah, well, I know I brought Paseka when yeah, he was looking all right last year and was quite low there. But yeah, I do think that he is looking really good and probably a little bit too expensive. But for me, I think they got so many prop injuries there that he could get massive minutes. So yeah, I don't mind it as a decision at all.
Yeah, yeah. As we said before, had him in a pod it as our had him as a pod in our private group. But moving on, Lutea, not fancy relevant. Travojevic, Ben Travojevic, few people own him. Didn't have his had a decent game, not enough to justify picking him up. Still cheapish, but wouldn't touch him. DCE, not his best game, especially with a try. He didn't really do a hell of a lot on attack. Sea Eagles look pretty poor. Um, 3 points of negative, which isn't much, but just really no attacking stats other than the try for him. And the try did save his points. Mitch Barnett, one who got moved to prop before the game or on TLT. Um, I'm a bit conflicted with Mitch Barnett as an owner. Got 62 minutes, which is great, and only managed for 41 points. Had a really bad first half. Um, what would you do with Mitch Barnett as them if you owned him?
Yeah, I think he's still getting the minutes, but his scoring is just down from last year. And I do think that Mitch, I would only really sell if you're trying to get to a house. Other than that, I think you hold it one more week and just see if he can bounce back. Because last week he got about a 50, and yeah, he hasn't lost too much cash there, and his break even will be about a 55 to 60. So I think you hold unless you're going to a paying house, then you sell.
Yeah, I do agree. Aaron Clark, decent PPM, just minutes aren't there really to pick him up. He's probably still gonna have a slow burn of cash loss. So I'd look to sell maybe or just hold if you have him, but wouldn't be picking him up. RTF, 40 points with the try. A lot of attacking stats there and a 6 point of error too. Bit up and down for RTS, especially in this high scoring game. So I wouldn't be looking to pick him up. Similar to Bullimore, minutes are okay, just not enough. He will make some cash. Had a great first game, but there's so many good options this week. We'll get discussed later that I wouldn't be looking at Bullimore. Same with Capewell and Ford. Garrick, 36 points from 80 minutes. He's about 20% owned. Not great for owners. Look, if you own Garrick, which a lot of people do, you just got to hold him. Manly were bad, but I'm predicting Manly to have a good year this year, so Garrick will be back. Burbo got the sin bin, which wasn't great for him. 34 points. Not many people own him, so I'd say don't pick him up. Just continue to hold. Hamole. Do you want to go through Hamole here, Will? After a crazy game against Cowboys, did absolutely nothing against the Wars.
Yeah, well, I think this is a game that Homoli's never going to really do well, and they got absolutely destroyed the Eagles. And you see there 16 negatives, which for me I think is a red flag of Homoli's game. Like when he doesn't score tries or and that he still got the base stats, like still would have scored 43 points, but just a lot of negatives. But yeah, I think that it shows that when he doesn't get those attacking stats, he doesn't go big, and I think that's the reason that Olakuwatu will never be a big player.
Yeah, he does rely heavily on those tackle busts, tries, and line breaks, but they should come. If you own him, you obviously got to hold because you know what he can do, like we saw in week one. Anyone else to discuss? Nah, not really. We'll move on. Next game, another upset which ruined my tipping. Panthers 32, Roosters 38, one I did not see coming. Connor Watson, absolutely inspirational performance. 90 points, two tries, a try saver, and a line break with 50 tackles and one miss and six tackle busts. That's amazing. Like for a hooker, that is genuinely amazing. And if you don't own him, you're really kicking yourself. Do you feel like he's a little expensive to pick up now? If you don't own him, you just sort of got to cop it now?
Well, I think he has been killing it, Ben, and I could see him finishing as the highest hooking spot there as he played a couple of minutes at lock two, which where his points really get inflated. But I think yeah, you go House over him. But if you need a hooker, then I'm all for picking up Watson. I think he's going to be an incredible player this year and one that you kind of have to go towards. And yeah, what do you think about Watson as a pickup?
Well, look, personally this week I'm looking to get halves if you can. But most people own Watson anyway, 26% owned. I wouldn't be looking to pick him up, just there's much better options and he is very expensive. So I feel like you just got to cop it on the chin if you don't own him at the moment. Daniel Tupou, one who I don't think is very fantasy relevant. 67 points and the average of 41 from two games. It's not really great. Two tries, a try saver, and a lot of attacking stats, so I'd steer clear. Nathan Cleary, 63, got a lot of ghost points, which was really helpful for owners. Um, Two try assists, a line break, and five tackle busts. He had a pretty good game, really, considering that he didn't have a hell of not too much involvement, sorry. But look, I captained him. Probably won't be looking to captain him this week against the Storm. I'll probably look to captain Haas if I can bring him in. Moving on, James Tedesco, 58 points. He's just going to continue to lose cash, unfortunately. And if you own him, which about 3% do, so not many, I'd honestly look to sell and upgrade or maybe downgrade to a Marzu while you still can. Alamotti, another good game in the centers, 57 points with a try and a few attacking stats there to go with it. Good game for him. He could seriously be a decent mid-tier center option. Do you have any interest in him if he stays at center?
Yeah, I got a little bit. I think he's going to do a really, really good job there playing on, I still think, in my eyes, the Premiership favourites. And yeah, I think that there is a couple centres, but who knows? Like, I think he's a bit up and down nature and kind of got increased by a very good game he played. But what do you think? Do you think he has enough base stats there for you to look at towards him?
Well, personally, if he doesn't have the two line breaks, a line break assist and a try, he's scoring high 30s to
Yeah.
mid 30s. So I don't think he does have the base, so I'm steering clear. One who had a pretty shocking first round, Angus Crichton, comes back with a 56, which is what you expect from him. If you did hold him, you're doing well. A lot of people sold him, which I didn't advise to do, but continue to hold if you still have him. Siwa Wong, 55 points from 80 minutes. I think Radley's due to be back this week, right? Or is he still out for another?
No, I think they said that Radley was going to be the only forward back this week. But I wouldn't be surprised
Okay.
if he didn't come back because he's had a lot of concussions.
Yeah. Siwa Wong, he's been playing great. And if he can keep the spot for another week, he might be an interesting option coming in at 396k. The only problem is the negatives, 14 negatives, which is a problem. Could have had 69 points. But look, a lot of base stats there, which is great for him. Yeah, if you can keep the spot, which it's a bit risky, but if you can keep the spot, maybe it's an option. Blake Steep, 53 points from 46 minutes with a try saver and a lot of tackles. I'm just a bit concerned with the Roosters bench. Um, I don't think that's going to happen every game for Steep. What do you reckon? What's the go with Siwa Wong and Steep? Are they avoids for you, or are you just continuing to look at them?
No, I got a lot of interest in Brad Steep. I think he probably will lose minutes when Radley's back, but
Right.
he's so he'll probably go to bench and see Wong back to 13. But he's been playing really well there. Lowest break even now. Very, very good PPM. So if he can hold that 13th spot, I'll be looking really, really deep into him.
Yeah, I do agree. TLT Tuesday will tell us a lot. So we'll see what happens there. Nathru White, one who you had on your team, 58 minutes for him is very good. 51 points as well, 30 tackles, not a hell of a lot of attacking stats, ran the ball well, just solid all round. So if you would you be looking to buy White or would you there's a lot of other options this week, I reckon.
Well, yeah, I think
What do you
you
think?
wouldn't buy White because I do believe that Spencer Leno is due back this week along with Collins and Radley. So I don't know how many minutes he really gets if you're playing with Leno and that. An 18 break even. So if he can hold that spot, he could be a very interesting position or like play to get in. But now yeah, I mean I just taken those cash rises and yeah, I think he's just done a really good job for my team there. And if he could get the 13 spot over Siwa Wong, considering he's been playing really well for them. So it just matters on our team list there. But yeah, I'm really happy with what he's been doing so far.
Another guy I'm happy with, Brandon Smith with the try and the try assist. He finds a way to just get his score into the 40s. He's done it 2 weeks in a row. Continue to hold. Chad Townsend, GOAT for the Cowboys, but not a fantasy option, unfortunately. Lindsey Smith, one who was taken off the field with HIA, which is a shame. He would have had a very good game, about 50 55. One who we had as a pod as well. I feel he's just getting a little expensive at the moment, but look, if you still want to bring him in, he's only 1.8% owned. You could go worse, that's for sure. Casey McLean, 38 points with a try, and what's that? Two line breaks, so very attacking dominant. He may do that most weeks. He might get a try most weeks, but look, I probably wouldn't be going near him. He's lost already 56K. Rob Toyer, 38 points, had a shocking start and then brought it back at the end, which was great. No attacking stats whatsoever, which is good for him. Up to 332K, owners are absolutely laughing. Um, Mark Noah Quanatawaze, uh, 35 points from 80 minutes with a try. It's really not what you're looking for. If you own both Mark and Robert Toyer, you're probably looking to obviously maybe hold Mark, but he could honestly be a sell to a cash down cheapie. You'd look to you'd look to own Toyer over Mark, in my opinion. Dylan Edwards, injury-ridden game, taken off pretty early. Did score the try with a few other attacking stats and still managed 32 points. Do you know the severity of Edwards' injury at all?
Yeah, I think it's 3 to 4 weeks, which I do think that could
Hmm.
make Dane Laurie a very interesting option for the next couple of weeks as a hopefully quick gem cash cow.
Yeah, if you can, yeah, a little pump to maybe earn 50 to 60K, that could be good. Liam Henry, they're easing him in at the moment. Great PPM. The try did help, but yeah, he's going to continue to lose cash. Isaiah Yo, which was absolutely ridiculous. 30 points from 80 minutes, his lowest score since 2019, I think, or maybe even earlier. Just nothing was going for him. Just completely out of the blue. Four missed tackles, only 25 tackles in 80 minutes. I don't know what was going on for him, considering Roosters had a lot of the ball. But you obviously can't sell a guy like Yo. So well, I don't own him, but if you did, just hold him. Isaac Tunga, another poor game for him, just nothing going, no attacking stats, three missed tackles. Look, he could honestly be becoming a sell if you own him, which not many people do.
On one of them.
Um, but maybe give him another week. Obviously, he plays well with Cleary historically, so I'd give him a few more weeks. Jack Cole, one who I unfortunately played on my bench because I thought the Panthers would kill the Roosters. 19 points, just not good enough. Too many missed tackles, too many errors. Yeah, you got to continue to hold, but really not good enough. Going down, not really much to say about there. We'll move on. Dragons vs Bunnies, a good game to finish at the finish. Jamie Humphries, 72 points, who a lot of people brought in for Metcalf. Really good. Made 85K. I think he's going to continue to do this. He's got to be close to a must-have if you still don't own him. A field goal, a try assist, a line break assist, a tackle bust. Not even a try, not even a try or a try saver. The base is there, 647 kicking meters. You got to get this guy in. Jaden Sewer, one who you owned last year, Will, and was a good pod for you. Do you have any interest in Sewer? He had two good games in a row.
Yeah, well, we know he loves an offload there, but the Dragons, they're a better team, so Hunt Sewer should improve, but they're just not putting up the results. One I didn't look at until this video, but could be a very interesting pod if you wanted to go Hosking straight to an edge there. So, yeah, I wouldn't say I have a lot in him, but a very interesting one.
Yeah. Gutherson, not fantasy relevant. Kepi is an interesting one. He's getting so many minutes with a try, 64 points. Didn't have the best first game. but could be an interesting option considering his 424K. Could be a decent pod. Oh, that's wrong player. Could be a decent pod at 0.4% owned. I'd continue to watch to see what happens. Similar to DeBellin, I'd he's had two decent games, but look, 1% owned. You're not getting hurt when he scores well, so I continue to watch. Toby Couchman, another one who we had as a good pod, 60 points from 62 minutes. Now, here's one I have actually a lot of interest in for a mid-tier prop. Do you have any interest in Couchman, or are you just going to see what he does next week and justify picking him up later?
Yeah, well, they got a bye this week, the Dragons, I believe. So I won't be going near any
Yeah,
of
they
their
do.
players this week. But if Hosking wants to be injured next week, I would be very interested in Toby. But I think now it's just kind of one that I got to let go through to the keeper. But I think he's going to be an absolute stud this year and just looks like a very, very good player. So yeah, I got a lot of interest in Toby.
Yeah, with the signing of Clemmer, do you think that impacts his minutes at all? It should.
Yeah, I think it will, but I still think he'll get to 50 to 55 minutes where I do think he can probably get about 50-ish points there. So yeah, still interested in
Yeah.
him for sure.
Number Zulis, the number one who I had on my emergency. I just didn't play it well. Got the try, 38 tackles, two misses. Continue to hold, obviously. Maybe even pick him up if you want a cash down option. He's looking good and he's going to continue to make money. Lockie Hubner, great game from him. 49 points from 51 minutes, 36 tackles. Not a hell of a lot of attacking stats, just pure base. Did get the suspension though. He's out for 2 weeks, I think. But I'd hold him and use him as a looping option, which I'll be doing this week. So he's going to continue to make money. Damien Cook, another poor game from him. Look, if you own him, I'd probably look to sell. Connor Watson's only 60K cheaper, so if you have the money, I'd just go straight to him. Um, let's see here. Hamish Stewart, 44 points, 40 from 32 minutes. Look, those minutes are a bit concerning, but the PPM is amazing, really. Do you have any interest in Stewart, or you can't justify him with those kind of minutes?
Oh yeah, I did, but yeah, very good PPM there. But I think it's a bit inflated. Like he won't get a turnover and not miss any tackles, get a try assist every week. I would like to see him
Yeah,
another week before I go on to him. But yeah, some that I do think is doing really well.
yeah. Lockie Elliott, not his best game, just a bit of a poor start to the season. Did get the try assists, but he might do that every week, but his scoring isn't good enough to justify. Dal Holmes, after a cracking first week, just a very poor second week. What's that? Oh yeah, goal kicking. Does kick goals, which is good for him. Just didn't do much really. No attacking stats whatsoever. Look, you're gonna hold him if you own him, but not many people do. Oh, 6%, he's still a pod. But if you own him, just continue to hold. Davi Mawale, one who had another poor game. Got a few more minutes, but just another poor game. So I'd look to sell. Um, let's see here. Not Colin Matangi, another pretty poor game. He's going to continue to lose money, which is good if you want to pick him up later. Um, I'd probably look to sell, honestly, to a cash down option. There's a lot of good mid options, so I'd probably look to sell. Not really much to talk about there for the rest of the game. Move on. Got the Cowboys versus the Sharks. My Cowboys getting flogged again, which is a shame, but it's going to be one of those seasons. Kale Iro, cash cow of the year a few years ago or last year, 75 points with two tries, two line breaks, and 12 tackle busts. Absolutely attacking it freak for that one. Getting a bit expensive in my eyes. He's probably going to max out soonish at about probably 650-ish K or 680K. So I'd probably steer clear. Hines, a good game from him. 4 goals, three line break assists, and a try assist. Good game. Continue to hold. Stone Street, another good game. Two tries and four line breaks, which have completely inflated his score. 32 points there in attacking stats. Wouldn't look to buy. Teague Wilton, and obviously another try, completely. They're all these players are attacking stat boosted from this flogging. This isn't going to happen every week, so honestly, I wouldn't pick up any of these guys. Blake Brayley, maybe you'd argue you can, but he's very base stat dominant too. Um, Scott Drinkwater, one who you own, will talk us through that.
Yeah, well, he got a 49. He is I think he has won the conversion kicking, which as of right now doesn't look like it will affect the Cowboys very much because they're not playing very well. But you know what Scott can do. That was a very good try he scored there. And yeah, I've got a lot of interest in Scott, or obviously my team still, but I'll definitely be holding him. And I think that he's going to have to do so much for the Cowboys, and he can bounce back. And I wouldn't be surprised if they bounce back when they get a couple of their big hitting forwards back.
Yeah, Tamalolo due to be back this week, so that'll be good. Drinkwater obviously been saved with a few tries in the last 2 weeks, but will continue to hold. McKinnon, 63 minutes, 48 points. He was looking so good to start. Just the tackles weren't there for him. He had 28 tackles in 28 minutes. I don't know what happened, but I'm gonna I'm gonna continue to hold personally. The minutes are there, and that's what we want. So hold, I'd say, unless you want to go to a Haas. Nickera, try inflated game. Um, who else? John Bateman, one who was a decent buy last week. Not a good game for the Cowboys, which means it's probably not a good game for Bateman. 14 points and negatives, so could have had 53. So continue to hold. Fanua Blake, one who I'd look to sell immediately. 49 minutes. We knew this would happen, the minutes being down. 36 points from 49. Sell to Haas if you can. Bank for maybe trade down someone else and then go Fanua Blake to Haas. So get rid of him immediately. Cotter, bad game. Duffy, 25 points from 80 minutes. Looked very poor. Errors galore. 13 points of error. I'm just going to continue to have him on my emergencies. Hopefully, Clifford isn't back this week and we can get another week out of Duffy. Purdue, another rubbish game with 8 points, with a try and a try saver with attacking stats. God, I don't know what to do with him, but at the moment, just going to hold him. Um, Broncos versus Raiders, another upset. Crazy game. Payne Haas, 85 points from 57 minutes. Just a freak. He's going to be probably one of the buys of the rounds if you can get him, and probably one of the better captain options of the week. And another one who helps Haas, Matty Nicholson, 82 points with two tries and two line breaks. Obviously, it is a try, and obviously, it is a attacking stat dominant game for him. But with the injury to Hosking, Matty Nicholson will likely take that spot, which makes him a great buy for the price. So if you can cash down a mid to Nicholson and then go a gun to Haas, then that's what I'd be doing. Mariner had a good game, surprisingly, with no tries, two line breaks, and he ran the ball a long way. Could be an interesting one. Corey Horsburgh, 52 minutes, 58 points. Crazy game. He's just going to continue doing it. I'd look to buy if you can. Zach Hosking, good game. Just got injured in the last little bit there, in the last 10 minutes. He's out for what, 3 to 4 weeks, was it?
Minimum, it'll be more, I think.
Okay. Which makes Nicholson even more tempting. Looking here. Corey Pake's got decent minutes. Points are okay. He's going to continue to make cash, so if you do own him, I'd hold. Same with Tamale. Continue to make cash, hold. Carrigan, not a great game. With 7.4% of people owning him, I'd look to move him on to Haas. Um, Hetherington, another pretty poor game. He's not going to make too much. He's probably going to start losing cash.
Yeah,
Same
it's
with
trying to sell them.
Shibasaki. Yeah. Shibasaki, rubbish game, 17 points. And same
This is
with
what I thought
Gutchevsky.
Shimasaki and Goshkeski would do. So I think they're both sells now, to be honest.
We did have them as avoids, and they've
Yeah,
shown why. And -1, Reece Walsh, one of the worst games I've ever seen in football. I think he's one of the most overrated players in the comp, and you got to get rid of him if you own him. Next game, Eels versus Tigers. Terrell May, once again, 73 points from 64 minutes. If you still don't own him somehow, you got to get him in. He's doing just as good as Haas, and he's going to continue to do this. Stafford Toa, good cash cow at the moment. I think Tigers are likely to sign Taylor May soon, I think they'd probably give Toa a few weeks and then put Taylor May in. So I'd be a bit wary there trading him in. Hopgood, good game for him. Continue to hold. Um, while PPM Beast, as always, continue to hold as well. Seyfarth, minutes are there, 80 minutes, 42 points. Continue to hold. What's that? He's had another pretty poor game, but I can't see that happening. He's going to average, I reckon, from the here on out, high 40s. So I'd continue to hold. Dylan Brown, another poor one from him. Same with Penasini and Buller, two poor games. Luai as well. Look to sell Luai. He's going to keep losing cash. And Coruscant did get injured, I think, or did he get injured or just got taken off?
Yeah, I do believe that he got taken off. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wait, is it
Simpson
Buller?
played a bulk of the minutes.
Buller got injured too though, so could
Yeah,
another spot for Heath Mason.
Royce Hunt, one who he had as a sell, and Iongi. Don't know what to do with him. I'm giving him one more week, and then he's out of my team if he does that again. Last game of the round, Bulldogs versus Titans. Tino with 75 points from 54 minutes with a try. Could be a very interesting option, but at that price, I'd look to go to Haas or Watson. Bo Fermor, one who I have a lot of interest in next week, maybe. Very expensive center, though. Dylan Lucas or Bo Fermor, that's the question. We'll see what happens this week for him. Um, Reed Marnie, good game, try assisted though. Max King, one who we has had as a pod in the private group, 56 points. He'll continue to do that. The minutes are there for him. Same with Preston. The try did help, but hold if you have him. Jaden Campbell had a poor first half and then brought it back a bit. He will continue to lose cash. One who I have my eye on later in the year. Who have we got? Not really too many fantasy options in here. Keanu Keeney, one who I knew was an avoid. Um, got a few attacking stats and still managed 33 points. He'll continue to lose cash. Brimson, 32 points. Got a few ghosties there. Look, that's not great for him. I'm going to continue to watch, but if you own him, you got to hold. He will do better. And David Fifita off the bench with 30 minutes. Yeah, just not good enough. Matt Burton injured. I'd look to sell. And that's about all we have for that
The,
game.
the guy
So
that
a fair
comes
few
in
options.
for Matt Burton could be a
What's
very
that?
interesting option. If the guy that comes in for
What
Matt Burton is the young guy, he could be a very interesting option and close to a
he could
must-have.
be. TLT will show a lot, but if he does get the spot, he'll be a great cash down option. But that's all we got for you tonight or today, fellas. Just a round wrap up. We'll post a TLT analysis tomorrow and then a buy hold sell on Wednesday. Any final comments, Will?
Nah, not many. Thanks for watching, guys, and yeah, we'll see you in the next one.
Yeah, see you, fellas.
Go on, guys.